when I like went to your Instagram, you reached out and I just like went to your Instagram. I listened to the song, like it only takes me like 10 seconds, honestly. Maybe that's not fair, but like sometimes some music needs longer and some needs shorter, and yours only needed like a shorter instance for me. And I heard it, I was like, oh fuck, well, yeah, I fuck with this. And then I saw like a clip, just even like 5-10 seconds of a clip of you guys playing live, and I saw how you moved, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm down with this. It only
Yeah, yeah.
took a very fraction of like, it only took like 10 seconds on each of those accounts to like kind of understand, for myself at least, like the energy output that you guys are
Yeah.
like kind of doing, and performance too, and your performance too.
But that goes with what I was saying earlier about, I want people to be entertained and be like to feel something either live or just listening to music, on whatever platform they want to use. It's that's great that you sing this, that in just 10 seconds you know that you know, we're doing, what we should be doing. That so thanks for that. And I think, that sort of like validates what I'm trying to do too. And going back to, like releasing music and all that. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I know what I'm doing, but I know what I want, and then and I want to be able to also like put out, music on vinyl, or, on this on the physical format, because my, opinion on platforms and I it's great because, people can you have access to everything. And then when I was a teenager, I would have loved to have that, you know what I mean? Like when I was trying to download everything, and then from like, mega upload on LimeWire, so that, and now it's like, almost like freely accessible, like,
Yeah.
so it's fantastic. But what I don't like is how, people like, uh, 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 handling those platforms and doing with, artists and not paying them well, and then and also like, sending that money to from like wars and shit. Not gonna get into that, but that really
Yeah.
pisses me off, really. Um, so I'm like, okay, so, and I'm, let's just, put out some music on, even on a CD or a cassette, or, whatever, because vinyl sometimes is super expensive, which is not right too, but whatever. But to me, that's like, there's also like something about, you know, owning something, you know what I mean? And like an object that has music on,
Yeah.
and having this like, oh God, I got him excited. And and just like, having this special like, you know, bond with it, relationship. I have like a relationship with my books and my records, and I'm like you. I'm like, do I sound like a prick right now? But I do, but I don't care also, because that's true. It's corny and whatever, but it's the truth at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I, some of my records just, I just changed them. And then when I moved here, I had more records in my suitcase than, clothes, basically. But because that's how it is, and again, I might sound like a prick, but that's the truth. So to me, that's just too important. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't, as far as, releasing music and everything, I don't think I, know 100% what I'm doing, because as Dan said, like it's changing all the time. Like the rules of the game is
Yeah.
like, even I compared to like 10 years ago, it was so different, there was, when I started like playing in bands, we would just like have demos, and then, on CDRs, and then just, we would hand them out like, at shows, and that was good enough, and we had MySpace and all that. And but anyway, so it's constantly changing, and I'm 38. I don't know TikTok and all that shit. I mean, I could try, and I want to do a good job also like promoting my music. So I'm definitely going to do some of that for sure, because I'm not going to be like sitting there and like, oh, I know that, I don't know how to do it. I'm an old fart now, so I don't want to do it. No, I try to do that because, again, I want to share my music with as many people as possible, because I think like if you play in a band and you just want to keep it to yourself, it's like, it's kind of selfish also, So,
I
so yeah, I do have like, I know what I want to do, but I want to do it my way, you know.
yeah,
Um,
I hope you're able to find the paths to do it your way, because so much of our society is a slave to all these gigantic corporations, and it's so far out of our control. Not entirely, but it's like kind of like on the tip of our tongues or our fingers, to where like control is like on the tip of our tongues or fingers, where it's like you can barely grasp at it, but like it's there, but it's hard.
But the thing is, a lot of it is, you know, a lot of those things are they're tools basically. So the problem is that when they become the goal, actually the end product. My goal is not to have my music on Spotify and just like sit on my ass and just wait, you know.
Mhm.
My goal is just to, you know, share it. So I use, you know, those platforms, or not necessarily Spotify because whatever, but and I will use Instagram or whatever because that's going to help me reach more people, you know. But then also my goal though is to have like those people like listening, you know, listen to my music and then enjoy it. And even better if they can have like, you know, a record, like vinyl, whatever, you know, that's
I mean, if you guys get some stuff on wax, like, or even CDs are coming back, y'all.
yeah, that's true. They
CDs are
are.
coming
Yeah.
back. They're more affordable and they're still physical.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's you
good.
could still have the a relationship. It doesn't look as cool as wax, but like
You
it's
know.
still a physical connection to the music.